Hey everybody, Tim here with another episode of The Mandalorian. First episode came out on Tuesday, second episode came out on Friday. It's amazing. I think for the rest of the season, for the most part, I think it's going to come out every Friday, but whatever, I'm not complaining. So before I actually get into this episode, I had forgot to bring it up with my episode 1 notes because I was so enamored, I was so in shock by the episode entirety. I wanted to ask you guys, for the most part, I am a Star Wars fan. I do enjoy it. Not to the degree that I enjoy Star Trek, but I do like Star Wars. And so I don't always know all of the characters' names. And I kind of mentioned that previously. Again, for this, if there are any characters that I should have known or, recognized or anything like that, I didn't pick up on it. I didn't recognize Carl Weathers' character or anybody. Everybody to me was brand new characters. The one exception that I briefly thought, I've only watched the episode the one time. I didn't go back and rewatch it, but I probably should. Is when the Mandalorian actually goes and then the female is making the shoulder plate and she's kind of talking to him. For one, I recognized it was a female instantly. I just kind of picked up on that and I was like, okay. I'm curious if it's Sabine Wren from the character from Rebels. So if anybody else watches, because I think she even said I'll paint you a picture or something, which Sabine was an artist. So if anybody else, did you get that? Did you think it could have been Sabine? So, and I mean, roughly Rebels took place around episode 4, towards whatever. And then, let's see, it ended... This show takes place after Return of the Jedi. So, I don't know. I think it could be her. And she's kind of the only one that, stood out to me. So, I'm just curious what you guys think. As for this episode in general, loved it. Thought it was great. I don't even have that many notes because it's all so much. It's just character development. Lots of spoilers coming. So, if you're just wondering if I liked it, I did. That's it. So, lots of character development coming, but mostly this show is just gorgeous. If you muted it, didn't listen to it at all, it would still look great. Just the actual effects, the practical special effects, and then the CGI, over the top of it, it looks so good. The whole Baby Yoda thing, which obviously everybody says Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's even trending on Twitter right now. But obviously it's not Yoda, but what else are we going to call it? It's Yoda, and then I know there was Yackle, I think was her name, the other female of his species that was part of the Jedi Council and stuff. But I mean, realistically, what else are we going to call it? It's either going to be Yoda's kid, it's going to be a clone, or it could just be some random character of his species. I don't know. It does bother me, its age, because, realistically, let's say Yoda, I'm rounding up here, so bear with me, but let's say Yoda died at 1,000 years old. We know he was over 900. So he died at 1,000. That's the equivalent of, let's say, a human being 100 years old. So, cross, divide, multiply. If this baby's 50 years old, it should be the human equivalent of 5. Granted, every species' age is different. I get that. I understand that. But still, even at 50, I feel like this species should be a little bit more developed than what it is. Now, granted, we do see it walk in and we see it doing its force thing, but we haven't heard it talk or anything like that. So, I don't know, maybe it's just been in captivity the entire time, so it doesn't have language skills. Who knows? But still, I'm super into it, and it's super fucking adorable. I love it. Just as soon as it starts to heal the Mandalorian's wound, I was like, this is adorable. It's so great. With his shoulder and everything. The entire Jawa scene was just great. I mean, we've seen him throughout the series a ton of times with, especially in episode 4, doing the trading with Luke and everything. But just, when the Mandalorian's shooting them and they just vaporized. I was like, I didn't even know technology was like that. His little rifle blew me away. And then as soon as he climbs up on it and they just shoot him all at the same time, it was great. It was almost like a Monty Python sketch is what it reminded me of, where he's trying to climb up and he's throwing him off and they're just throwing rocks at him. It was a Monty Python sketch. Your father smells of elderberries and whatever. And your mother is a hamster. I think this, I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time we actually saw subtitles for them and them like actually talking and stuff like that. Because I mean, we've seen them talk before, like the Udini and stuff like that, but we never knew what they were saying. So it was kind of interesting to actually get the dialogue back and forth. And then the whole egg thing with the rhino creature, it was great. I wasn't digging the blurry vision thing, like that was too much for me. And then when we finally see like the baby Yoda like pick up the rhino, I was like, oh shit, like it was the exact same as that scene where we actually see Yoda like pick up the ship, like the X-Wing. And I was like, that's the moment where you're like, this is amazing. Like, how is anybody that powerful? And evidently this little baby thing is. Like, it has high midichlorian count or whatever. I don't know. But it was fantastic. So, for those who have seen Chapter 2, and I loved how Chapter 2 actually had a title, The Child. I don't remember seeing a title for Chapter 1. I could have missed it, but I don't remember seeing it. So, for those who have seen Chapter 2, what did you guys think? Just overall, what are you guys thinking about the show together? Let me know, and I will see you guys next week for Chapter 3.